Ladies and gentlemen, what you gonna do, brother? Oh yeah! Woo! What? What? If you smell what the rock.
You got the wrong guy. I'm the dude, man.
Welcome to another edition of Around the Turnbuckle. I'm the Big Alboski. That is Professor Keith, as always. And joining us from New Mexico, from Albuquerque, from wherever he wants to be from. I believe he calls himself Keith, the North Texas Brawler. Am I wrong? Kid Dallas.
Absolutely not. You got it. It's the North Texas Brawler, the new kid on the block, yours truly, Kid Dallas. What's going on, gentlemen?
Oh, we are happy to meet you. We are happy to have you on. And we ask everybody, just like we always do, once upon a time, Kid Dallas was a youngster and he was a fan of this business because you wouldn't be in this business if you didn't love it. So, when did you fall in love with professional wrestling? How old were you and how'd that start?
So it's a really, I get that question asked a lot by most of my family and friends is why, how did you get into this? It's always the same question. And for me, it happened back, I can't remember what age, but I know I was a youngin. My mom actually had recorded WrestleMania 10 on a VHS tape. And way back before, I had a what do you call it? One of those wrestling buddies, those little, they had the Ultimate Warrior.
I know exactly what they were. Yes,
exactly. So I had an Ultimate Warrior. So when given, a chance, when I was out of school, I'd pop in that little VHS tape. I would put a blanket on the floor, grab my wrestling buddy, and just go to town. So that's that's how I got interested and became a fan of wrestling, was just that one little VHS tape of WrestleMania 10 and my wrestling buddy. And it was a lot of fun at that age, and that's how I became a fan. I became a fan at that time and just thought, wow, this is something that I could see myself doing in the future.
So as you continued being a fan, as you watched it, was it mostly WWE or WCW or both?
So at around that time, it was mostly WWE and obviously, WCW at the time, just switching back and forth, watching both programs, and it just getting the aspect of it, getting the feel of it. It's like, wow, like I said, like this is something I could do in the future. And just, watching these many superstars that are now, getting into that old age, not being disrespectful to anybody out there, but, age comes up, but watching them back in the day, just when they were in their 20s, 30s,
right,
when they were less than that, it just became a huge fan of so many superstars growing up, so many, people in the business.
Did you often attend events whenever they came into town?
A couple shows attempted to go to. I know a couple shows. My mom and my dad actually took me to one or two events. But ever since then, I attempt to try. Every time either they come here, they go somewhere, I attempt to go. I attempt to my hardest to go, so that I can, get that mindset, that dream of, wow, this is where I could be. This is where this is what the dream is. This is what the goal is.
All right, so somewhere you decided to go get in the ring. You wanted to do this. Take us through that story? Take us through where you did you look for schools? Did you know of schools? Did somebody point you in the right direction?
So yeah, so when I came out of high school at 18, I started looking. I was like, this is something that I want to do. This is something that I've been dreaming about ever since I was a kid. But everywhere I've looked way back in the day, it was like, oh, they're charging this amount of money for training, this amount of money for for a month or something, and it was at that time where it's like, I do not have that kind of money.
Right.
So, you know, years went by, you know, tried doing other things, you know, trying to live out some other goals in my mind, and I've, you know, achieved those goals. And so when I got into this job, I had a coworker that had told me about Off the Ropes training school. At the time, I was like, okay, maybe, you know, maybe I'm getting a little up there in age. You know, do I really have a lot of years left? Do I really want to do this? This is something I've been wanting to do for a while. So my coworker gave me all of my trainer's info. So I ended up contacting Gino Rivera.
Right.
He's the head trainer at Off the Ropes. Gave him a call one day, and I told him this is something that, you know, I've been wanting to try. This is something I've been wanting to do for quite some time. I met up with him at at a local Walgreens in town, and we sat there and we had a conversation. He's like, you know, hey, if you know, if this is something you really want to do, come on down, come train at my school. And I went, and I was welcomed with open arms. And ever since then, been training at Off the Ropes here in Albuquerque, New Mexico, under Gino.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't Gino just wrestle Keith Lee recently? I saw that on his, like, because I follow him on Facebook. If we're talking about the same guy, Gino Rivera, he wrestles down there. He has the school, but he also has had several invites to WWE, like just dark matches and stuff, right?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, he did recently. He did have a dark match in, I believe, in Ontario, Canada, against Keith
Right.
Lee.
Yes.
You know,
I forgot what city it was in, but yes.
Yeah, it was in Ontario, California, from my understanding, because I follow him as well because he's my trainer.
Right.
But you know, that's just seeing him be able to do that, to do the extra work. That just makes me want to, like, wow, like something that I could do hopefully here in the future. Just, you know, be able to do dark matches or extra segments or whatever's there, just to say, hey, at least I went. You know, I was there to do something like that.
Well, right. And when you have those dark matches on tape, you never know who's going to see that and say, you know, wow, you know, this kid's got something. Maybe we should bring him in for a tryout at NXT or somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. That's, you know, that, like I said, like that's the goal, that's the dream. You know, that's pretty much all of our goals and dreams is, you know, trying to get to that big time company, whether it's WWE, whether it's AEW now, Impact, New Japan, you know, whatever major companies out there. That's the goal. That's the dream.
So talk about Off the Rope. Talk about the school. How often do you train? How often do they have shows?
So right now, we train 2 times a week. We, you know, it's a really, you know, we have some, you know, names in there. And I'll just throw, you know, a couple out there. We have Fonzie Mother Lovin' LaFleur. Fonzie LaFleur is, you know, he's up there in age, but you know what? He's living his dream, you know, and exactly what, like I've been saying, we live our dreams and training and trying to get on shows and all that.
Right.
You obviously have you know, Jason Dredd, another
Right.
Off the Ropes alumni. I like to call him alumni. You have Gypsy Mac, Roland Steele. You have Caden Haas. You have a young and upcoming Dante King. Another young and upcoming in Enrique El Gato. Just so many names in this training school. You know, like I said, we train 2 times a week. We always, you know, bring out the best in each other. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to take our talents and just go everywhere in the country, whether it's Florida, Michigan, Vegas, California, you know, wherever we can, to show what skills we got, what we can do in the ring.
You guys have a show, like a live show, once a month. I don't know what the rules are down there. I know they keep changing in different states.
No, we're just a wrestling school. We don't host any live shows.
Okay.
Maybe that's something to think about in the future. Maybe just have a, an off the ropes live show somewhere. But
So,
but right now it's
off
just,
the ropes, just trains you guys, and do they assist you or help you get booked? Do they have connections in that area?
yeah, Gino helps us with our training. He points us in the right direction of hey, there's so many places to go out there to do shows. Put yourself out there. He assists on so many levels that I can't even explain. But he makes sure that we're heading in the right direction. Under his leadership, under his what's the word I'm even looking for? It's just amazing what Gino has done for us, and he continues to strive for us every single day.
Keith,
He he puts us out there, and we just get the ball rolling.
that's awesome. Keith,
Mhm.
would it be advantageous that Gino is a trainer and a wrestler himself versus a promoter?
I mean, the whole promoter thing, you got to you got to be careful with it, because what's that old joke? How do you make $5,000 in the wrestling business? Start with 10,000. It adds up, and promoting is really tough. And the worst thing you can do in any walk of life, but especially in professional wrestling, is put the cart ahead of the horse and say, "Oh, I got enough money to do the training school and all that. Let's see if I can do a promotion too." Well, goddamn, make sure you have the infrastructure, the money, the talent, all of that. And Gino's right to tell you guys too, hey, don't just stay here. Get out there, because you know what? What people like in Albuquerque is maybe not what they like in a different town in New Mexico. It could certainly not be what people like in, say, Florida
Or
or
Texas?
Ohio or California. We kind of have gotten in the last 30 years or so with WWE, with WCW and all that, to kind of think of it as like, oh, well, it's the same product and you go wherever and you do your thing. And it's like, yeah, you can do that. But, one of the advantages, I think, of wrestling as it used to be, the territory system and all of that, is you ran your towns and you got to understand the flavor of what that local crowd wants. And the smart wrestler is the wrestler that can do that, can go out there and go, okay, they really like technical wrestling here, so I can do technical. Okay, they really like the high flying stuff, let's do that. Okay, they like to watch brawls, so let's have a good brawl. Because every crowd is different. Every crowd wants something different, and every fan is a little different. I'm starting to get the little ones involved in it, and I've got the one that absolutely loves tag team wrestling and the technical stuff, and the other one is bloodthirsty and she loves her hardcore and all of that stuff. So I mean, you can have the same people in the audience, and they want completely different things.
Yeah, that's entirely true. We have our trainer is just, hey, we don't necessarily need to wrestle just in one specific spot. It's, let's take our talents out to Florida, Michigan, wherever, so that we can show our talent and show our what we can do on the outside of New Mexico, or outside of Colorado, Texas, so that way we can get new fans and new people wanting to say, holy, damn, that kid's pretty good. And hopefully if one of these shows we get eyes from someone, whether it's WWE or AEW or whatever companies out there. It's like, wow, I want that kid on my roster. I want that kid signed.
So tell us about the origins of Kid Dallas. Where did he come from? Who is Kid Dallas? If you weren't Kid Dallas and you were a wrestling either promoter or an announcer, and you're announcing a Kid Dallas match, and you know everything about him, what would you say about Kid Dallas? Where did he come from? Who is Kid Dallas?
So who Kid Dallas is, I get that question asked a lot of times, and I come from El Paso, Texas. I come out as, most people sometimes see me as an underdog. Most people see me as some type of powerhouse, much like a Jim Anvil Neidhart or a Samoa Joe. I get that a lot. For me, it's I'm not trying to be those those type of wrestlers, superstars. I'm trying to make a name for myself.
Right.
And I come out and I try to be that big, say Braun Strowman, that big, the huge guy. Obviously, I don't have the size for it. Obviously, I'm not that tall. But I'm ready to. I come out and I basically come out and just want to just inflict pain. Whoever steps in my way, that's who I am. I'm an inflictor of pain, and I will slam you as hard as I can. Obviously being safe about it, but just I come out and just try to be the best that I can be.
What kind of move set does Kid Dallas, like if I'm somebody who's never seen a Kid Dallas match before, what am I about to watch when I see a Kid Dallas match?
What you see is what you get. I could be the big powerhouse person, attempting to be that big powerhouse person. I could be that lucha libre kind of big boy. I can pull off some impossible things that people are like, wow, this guy can do that. It's just it's a variety of moves. It's a variety of sequences and stuff like that. That's like, wow, this kid can really move like that. It's that's basically what you're gonna get. It's what you see, what you get.
Is Kid Dallas a heel or a face most of the time?
Yeah, that vicious cycle goes in different areas. Sometimes I could be the heel, sometimes I could be the face. It just depends. But for me personally, I'm more of the face. I'm the good guy. But if certain buttons are pushed and certain things are happening to me, yeah, that there could be an evil side to Kid Dallas. But that's an evil side that some have seen, some have not seen. But I see more. I'm more of the good guy. I'm more of the hey, let's be cool, and certain, like I said, certain button get pushed, then it's game on.
Well, you need that even as a baby face. If the feud gets to match 3, match 4, the heel screwing you over, the heel keeps cheating, the heel keeps taking from you, and the fans are going to want that point. They're going to want to see that point where you just snap and you don't go all the way to evil. You don't deliberately try to do evil things. You don't stoop to their level, but maybe that punch is a little harder than it used to be. Maybe, that kick looks like it's weighed in a little bit more. Maybe the snap on that suplex snaps a little more than it used. The subtle thing of like, I'm mad, I'm walking up to the line, but I'm not going over the line.
Yep, exactly. That's exactly how I see it too. It's try not to stoop so low like the bad guy, but at that certain point, if it continues and keeps going on, then I bring out that little evil side of me. It's like, well, I'm tired of all this, and let me do this thing my way.
Mm-hmm.
What are some of the guys that you've wrestled? You said that you're about 1 year in, so I know there's not a big list, but like if you wanted to name off like 2 or 3 of them, the ones that you felt like you had the best in-ring chemistry with or in-ring work with.
So yeah, there's a couple. Obviously, I've had a couple matches with Jason Dredd. Jason Dredd always brings the best out of me, just like I've always bring out the best in him. Especially, another young and upcoming Dante King. Myself and Dante King have had a couple of stellar matches. There's so many names on the list that I've wrestled this year. Like, not taking anything from granted from everybody else. We always bring out the best each other. It's the list is just going to keep coming. The list is just going to keep coming. Who I face. So all I try to do is just bring out the best in them. They try to bring out the best in me, and we just try to put on a good show.
So when you have you developed a finisher or one that you are comfortable with, or one that you, or maybe something that you've thought of down the line that you might want to use?
So right now I have what's called a Dallas bomb. It's a throat sit down bomb. I'm very comfortable with that. I also, also have the frog splash, which everybody uses, you know, this day and age. But the frog splash means a lot more to me because I grew up watching Eddie Guerrero, and
Oh,
he's one of
sure.
my, you
Mhm.
know, one of my favorites, my all-time favorite, should I say? Because obviously he was born and raised from where I was born and raised.
Yeah.
You know, and I use the frog splash. I'm very comfortable with that frog splash too. Um, you know, but there's certain moves that I would like to learn down the line, obviously in a safe manner. But it's a learning in progress.
I
What's
was
the
just going to
ultimate?
ask about that
Yeah.
because obviously you're a year in. Where would you describe your comfort level? Do you feel like you kind of got a style coming together? Do you feel like there's still some things you need to get in the toolbox? I mean, do you feel like the basics are coming along? Where would you kind of rate? I mean, obviously, knowing it's a year, you've got a lot to learn yet. But where, if you were to grade yourself, where do you think your progress is at? Where do you think the comfort level in the ring and all that is right now?
Good question.
So the comfort level that I have right now is I would have to say if it's on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm at an 8.
Okay,
You
good.
know, there's certain moves that I don't feel comfortable with.
And
But
you
you
don't
know,
do them then, right?
yeah, exactly.
Absolutely don't
Uh,
do it if you don't know how to do it, because either you're going to hurt somebody or it's going to look like shit. And
yep,
either way,
exactly.
you don't want it.
Yeah, exactly. And that's exactly what I don't want. I don't want, you know, I don't want to look like crap, but I also don't want to hurt whoever my opponent is. And you know, I'm trying to be as safe, you know, I try to be safe as possible. And so far so good. Like I haven't really, you know, hurt anybody in that sense, if that makes sense. But,
Yeah.
you know, just trying to be safe. That's the goal, is just trying to be safe. You got to be safe.
Keith, I got a couple of good shout outs here. I got a big shout out to Courtney. Hi, Courtney. I got a shout out to my mom, Colleen. Hi, mom. Big Chris Vant always joins us. What's up, Big Chris? Up, guys? And somebody you might know there, Kid Dallas. Kid Dallas #1, Herbie Mendoza.
Yeah, I know that guy. I know
All
that
right.
guy for sure.
There you go. Shout outs to Herbie, man. Thanks for that. All right. So, what does the future hold for Kid Dallas? I mean, is the goal? I mean, what kind of goals do you have? Have you set mini goals, or do you have ultimate goals, or like how do you work it that way?
So the goal is to, you know, obviously try to get out there more. You know, try to, you know, get my name out there more, trying to make it to around the West Coast area, the East Coast area, you know, just trying to get out there more. You know, the bigger goal is obviously, you know, hopefully getting signed to a major company, whether it's again WWE, AEW, Impact, Ring of Honor, New Japan, you know, basically wherever, you know, that's the goal, is just either just trying to get signed somewhere, just trying to get signed to a bigger company. And that's, you know, what my trainer Gino always talks about is, you know, the goal is to get somewhere signed, get somewhere where your name gets put up in the marquees, the headlines, you know, stuff like that, you know. Um, but other than that, you know, that's just the goal right now, is just trying to get somewhere signed. That's it.
And it doesn't. You don't have a preference, right? It doesn't matter if it's AEW or Impact or anything like that, or WWE. It just, the goal is you would love to do this for a living, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Regardless of if hopefully if I get signed somewhere, regardless of where it is, um, you know, that's that's just the goal. That's just one dream, one goal of mine, is to get signed by you know, a high time company, and hopefully I can make the dream come true.
Now, Keith, not not that it has anything to do with us, but 3 former guests on Around the Turnbuckle have been signed by major promotions,
That
namely
is true.
James J. Dawkins, who is now Malik Black on 205 Live. JJ Dawkins, and I'm sorry, Keith, my mind just went gone. It Nick, not Nick Adams, Chico Adams is at the PC right now, trying to get into NXT, and Who's the third one, Keith? It's popping in my head. Is it Chico Adams, J.J. Dawkins?
JJ.
Yeah, my mind just went by. But Kid Dallas, being on around the turnbuckle is not a bad thing, is my point.
Of course not, man.
They also had great trainers with a little bit of an inside track as well.
Yes. The other one the third one I can't mention because he said he has not revealed that on his own social media.
Oh yeah, so we can't blow him up.
Well, we can't blow that up, but there was a guy who we've remained friends with, who was one of our first guests like a year ago, who just recently got signed to a developmental WWE contract. So we're happy for him, but we cannot reveal that at this time. He's going to reveal that come November. But anyway, Kid Dallas, we wish you the best of luck, my friend. Not that we have anything to do with it, but maybe we're a good luck charm. I don't know.
Hopefully, we'll see.
And you know what? You're a year in, so I mean, you know, and I'm sure Gino tells you this all the time. Right now, you should worry about making sure that you're the best you can be, and the rest of it will come with time. You know, You've got plenty of road left to go. And like you say, and I agree with you, you know, get yourself out there, get up the West Coast, get on the East Coast, especially by us. My God, we're spoiled for wrestling. You can't throw a rock without a wrestling promotion. And we're in I'm on the Pennsylvania border. He's up in nowhere, Pennsylvania, but he's 45 minutes at the least from, you know, just about any kind of wrestling that's out there. You know, it's.
I'm only 20 minutes from Allentown, buddy.
Yeah, so I mean, there you go.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, that's exactly what Gino always tells us. You know, it's, you know, just get out there. You know, you got to get yourself out there. If you want to be seen by the bigger, higher companies, you know, you got to get yourself out there. And that's, you know, that's what I'm, attempting to do, trying to make my way down to the West Coast, trying to make my way down to the East Coast to show what I can do.
So if any of you guys are watching this live and you have a question for Kid Dallas, throw them my way. I'd be glad to put them up there for him. You have any question at all, you want to pick his brain, maybe you're a wrestler. I know a lot of you indie wrestlers that we have talked to or made friends with watch this. You want to pick his brain, you want to talk to him about, you know, because a lot of times it's great to have guys that are in the same boat, 1 year in, 2 years in, like, you know, maybe you guys can share information. But in the meantime,
give him some advice.
But in the meantime, I want to ask Kid Dallas, if you could wrestle anyone, alive or dead or still wrestling in the world, you could book yourself in the ultimate dream match, what would that be?
Oh man. See, this is a question I you know, get from family and friends. Who is the dream match? Man, there's so many to pick from. You know, way back in the day, I was always dream of myself wrestling Eddie Guerrero.
Sure.
You know, couple hometown boys, you know, from El Paso. You know, that's obviously, you know, may he rest in peace, you know. Obviously that won't happen. I mean, there's just so many that I would love to have a dream match with. But if I had to pick probably one person, it'd probably have to be The Rock. The Rock was a big, sort of a big influence on my life way in the Attitude Era days up until now. But I think that would probably be one of my dream matches, is facing The Rock. And it can't be just SummerSlam or no, this has got to be at WrestleMania, you know, because that's
Rock at WrestleMania.
Yeah, exactly.
I love it.
Kid Dallas and The Rock, WrestleMania. Hopefully, maybe one day that happens.
Down on your candy ass.
Oh, I know he would. Definitely, he would. He would definitely whip my candy ass. I'll tell you that. But at least I wouldn't go down without a fight. Let's just say that.
Yeah, and you know, don't discount it either. I mean, Alan and I a couple weeks ago, we got to watch a friend of ours, frequent guest on the show, Merrick Miami. He got to have his dream match. You know, Matt Cardona was a guy. Matt Ryder was a hero of his coming into the business, and he got a chance to wrestle him, beat him, and now you know, they're talking almost all the time. Like it's just a great moment of somebody got to meet their hero, work with their hero, work with their inspiration, and it turned out that, you know, he was exactly the guy that he wanted him to be. And I mean, that's just so amazing. And that's the thing about wrestling, that, you know, if you get it, you get it. And if you don't, that's the kind of story that I like to tell people, though, to be like, you know, dreams can come true. And yeah, you may not understand why somebody's dream is to, you know, fall on their ass every night for a living and get beat up and have the snot knocked out of them, but it's because of things like that, because of
Yep.
that, facing that dream and that moment of that guy that inspired you. Maybe you get to turn around and you get to have a match with him before your career ends or before his career ends. And it's just magic.
Yeah, exactly. So that's, never say never. That's
Yeah.
the saying that's always get thrown around, is never say never.
How much do you pay attention to the current product on TV, such as WWE, AEW, etc.?
I follow it. Quite a lot. I watch, Monday nights, WWE, Monday Night Raw, Tuesday NXT, Wednesday AEW. I catch an occasion Friday Night SmackDown when I'm not obviously working.
Right.
But I try to watch it. I try to watch it extensively. I try to watch it when the time comes. But sometimes, sometimes it's like I got other stuff I need to do in my life, and that's exactly what I do.
Do you go back like some wrestlers do and study the old school stuff versus the stuff that happens now? Because a lot of guys go back and they watch, maybe they go on Peacock on the WWE network and they go back and they watch old school stuff versus new school stuff.
Yeah, sometimes I watch. I sometimes go back in time. Attitude Era days, WCW days, and I try. I try my best to try to learn up on some new things, some new, trying to bring some of that old school moveset to this now, to this generation. I try. I try my best.
When you're watching some of those older school guys, who are you watching? Like, who are you looking at and saying, "Oh, that's what I kind of, who you can take from and what you can take from them to make your game better"?
I watch sometimes some of the Lucha Libre stuff back in the WCW days, some Juventud Guerrero, Rey Mysterio, try to learn that stuff. Go back to sometimes the 80s, like the Hart Foundation, when it was Bret the Hitman Hart and Jim Anvil the Neidhart. There's just so many stuff that I watch way back then, just to try and see if I can come up with some type of moveset sequence and put my own little twist on it. As my trainer says all the time, look, go back and look at some old school wrestling stuff and try to put your own twist on it. And and that's what we try to do. We try to put some twist on it.
And don't forget that psychology too in those promos. Guys like Dusty Rhodes, great psychology, great promo. Terry Funk, again, great promo, great psychology. Those are guys to study up on. Jake Roberts had amazing psychology. I think his psychology, carried him more than just about anything else he did. Jake knew how to inhabit that character, and he knew how to make you believe. Because he believed.
I got a fan question here. Chris Fant says, "Is Kid Dallas because you're a big Cowboys fan, or where does the name come from?"
So, yes, the last name, at least Dallas, came from the Dallas Cowboys, because yes, I am a huge a Dallas Cowboys fan. The name came from just throwing names out there when it was the first 2 weeks of. I want to say it was about maybe the first two weeks to about a month into training when I first started at Off the Ropes. My trainer, Gino, said, "Hey, I need 10 names from you. Throw out some 10 names and throw out some names and let's see what we can come up with." So the first round of 10 names, didn't go quite well. So I had to ask some of my classmates to say, "Hey, what do you think of this? What do you think of that?" So I had this one specific classmate that I had. he liked the last name Dallas. He's like, well, you're a big Dallas Cowboy fan. Why don't you try and use Dallas? And then the origin of Kid just came around. Was like, well, usually when I was growing up, when I was 13, everybody I say, hey, how old are you? I'll be like, well, I'm 13. Well, you look 9. You look 8. You look like a kid still. So that's how the name came up. Is wow, Kid Dallas. Everybody would call me a kid way back in the day, even though regardless of my age. So that's how the name just came up. Is Kid Dallas.
I have something for you here, a little update for you here. Dallas 17, New England 14. Just to throw you out there, the Cowboys just scored a touchdown. So
sweet, sounds good to me.
I told you I'd update you on that one. But yeah, I kind of figured that it was, but I mean, it's a great question, Chris, because like I was allowed to talk to him beforehand, right? And I got out of him before I even noticed he was wearing a Cowboys hat. I was like, "Are you a Cowboys fan?" Just because I knew he's from Texas, so I threw it out there. When Texas, his name's Kid Dallas, it makes perfect sense. So it works for you. But if Kid Dallas's character, is he just like you with the volume turned way up, or is he something out of you that you have to get out of you?
It's more of I have to bring him out. It's more of I have to bring him out to have that different persona. That's just me personally.
Marcus Johnston says, "What's up, Kid Dallas?"
Marcus Johnson. That's another young and up and coming wrestler out there. He's I won't say he's phenomenal, which no disrespect, Marcus. But you're getting there, man. What's up, man?
Yeah, it's Spitfire Marcus Johnson. We've had him on the show before as well. And just like him and anybody else that we've had on this show, they send us names. Like they throw a name our way. And I don't remember if Marcus was one of those ones. It might have been him. It might have been Jason Dredd, but somebody sent me your name. So that's how this happens. Like whoever we have on, I'm like, hey, by the way, if you know anybody that want to come on and tell their story and help build their brand and be on podcasts, because let's face it, if these guys get signed with somebody, they're going to have podcasts emailing them every 5 minutes. So we like to get guys like yourself who are just getting into the business, who are trying to build their brand, who are excited and love this business and do it. And yeah, sure, you said earlier you have the goal of getting signed by somewhere. But I mean, in the meantime, you're working on your craft, you're getting out there. We love that. We love the passion that the indie wrestlers have for professional wrestling.
And it's just great to watch people put it together. We've had some guys that I'm not going to say names, but we've had guys that, were at one level and maybe they weren't the greatest. And then you watch them go out there month after month, week after week, and you start to see like, oh, he botched that last time, but now he nailed it. He wasn't being authentic last time, but now he's figured out, how to authentically be his persona. Oh, he just figured out the psychology of when to do this and that. Like, it's so much fun to watch people develop and watch people get to kind of hit that light switch and put it together. It's so awesome, and it's so much fun to be part of that journey with people. And I'm so grateful that, you guys let us do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Marcus Johnson threw me at you guys, so I took the opportunity and I took the advantage. I was like,
Jason Dredd, so Marcus threw Jason Dredd, and actually I think Jason Dredd threw you. That's how it worked, I think. It was kind of like an indirect way.
Yeah,
but
it was something
Marcus,
like that.
Marcus gave us Jason Dredd. Jason Dredd gave us Kid Dallas, and he also said he's been trying to get us to get Gino Told You So on here, who is Gino Rivera, right?
Absolutely,
And I've gotten in touch with Gino. We had him set up, and at the last minute, he got booked on a Sunday. And I was like, dude, don't worry about it. We don't ever fault anybody for canceling this because you're booked. Because they pay you, we don't. So
right, exactly.
So bottom line there is Gino, if you're watching this, Gino, it's an open invitation. Just let me know when you can, because no doubt I have the funny feeling that guy's going to get signed one of these days. So, just saying.
Oh yeah, that's that's everybody here at Off the Ropes. We're the same way. He's been he always mentions that he's been 12 years in the business, almost going on 13 years in the business, and how this man has not been signed yet is beyond me. It's baffling, but you know what? It takes time. It just takes time.
He keeps working, right?
Yeah.
He's in excellent shape. He keeps working. He gets better. He keeps getting out there. His name's getting bigger. He goes and wrestles Keith Lee. He put on his Facebook post that he had like different guys like walk up to him and say, "Hey kid, you did a great job." Or Keith Lee walked up to him and said, "Hey kid, that was great selling out there. Good job." There was a bunch of guys there was a couple guys that gave him some constructive criticism too. But it's cool that he got to do that and go up to Ontario and go do that, because he got to pick a few brains and behind the curtain.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what he trains us to do, is never just sit there and not take any advice from anybody. He lets us know, hey, pick in the minds of other people, pick the minds of people that have been in this business for longer than I have, because I can only teach you a certain amount of stuff. These guys may have more insight, more advice than what I can give you. And that's what we try to do, is we try to get the advice of others out there.
If Kid Dallas today could go back a year and talk to Kid Dallas a year ago, what advice would you give yourself?
Ooh, advice that I would give myself is, the same thing. Chase your dream. Go chase your dream, kid. Your dream is you want to be signed by WWE. You want to be signed by AEW or something, or whatever big promotion. Go chase that dream. Go chase that goal. You don't need to sit here and not say waste your life, but sit there and have those regrets later on in life that, damn, I should have done this, or I should have done that, and I I regret not doing it back in the day. That's one thing that if I could tell myself way back in the day is go after it.
Yeah, Keith, if you could play, promoter for a minute, say you're a promoter and you see Kid Dallas perform and you want to give him, advice for where he's at right now, what advice would the professor give Kid Dallas?
I mean, I think it's exactly what he's kind of giving himself right now is, chase the dream, follow it, get yourself out there, get yourself booked in as many different places as possible, and when you're out in some of those places, if there's a school, if there's a trainer nearby, hit him up. Be like, hey, can I stop in? Can I take a couple classes? Can I do some stuff for you? Can I show you what I can do? Because again, yeah, they may have some criticism. They may see something being at a different place in their journey that they're going to say to you, okay, that's great, but maybe you shouldn't do this. Or you think that's looking really great. Maybe you could do this instead. Little tips and tricks and tweaks and things like that, because you're right. It's all about getting out there. It's all about putting the time in and working on the craft, because you're not going to get better unless you keep practicing and unless you keep getting those opportunities and picking those brains. We've been really lucky on this show that we've had guys like yourself that are, a year in, and we've had guys like Rudy Boy Gonzalez on here that, are over 30 years in and have trained, world champions.
Number of people.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I try to do every day, is just trying to get my name out there, just trying to get these other promotions to take a look at me and take a chance and go, hey, let's give this kid a chance. From what I've seen on, YouTube matches or whatever matches are up, this kid looks like he's safe. This kid looks like he knows how to go. Let's give him, let's give him an opportunity. Let's give him a chance.
That's another thing I would advise you to do. Just taking a page off of some of the friends that we've made in the business is like get as much footage of yourself out there as possible.
Yeah.
I know that you only had half a dozen matches or something like that, but I mean, get as much video footage of yourself out there on all your social medias, on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, or whatever you want to do, and just get it out there, because you never know who's watching, and you never know who might come across that. I mean, Keith mentioned Merrick Miami earlier. He partially got his match because he kept hitting Matt Cardona up on Twitter. Like, he literally kept messaging him directly on Twitter over and over again, telling him he was Broski of the week, and sending him sending him like a clip or two of him wrestling and saying it'd be a dream to wrestle him. And next thing you know, he's telling him, well, if your booker has the money, bring me in. And then on September 25th, as Keith said, he got to wrestle his hero, or one of his heroes. So, I mean, just you got to make shit happen, man.
Yep, exactly. And that's exactly what Gino always tells us is, you gotta put content out there. You gotta do this and you gotta do that. And that's, it's a work in progress, but just gotta keep at it, and that's what I tell myself every day is just, you gotta keep at it. Gotta keep at it.
All right, man. Well, we wish you got anything coming up. You mentioned you got something coming up in November. Are you booked in November?
Yep, I'm booked about 3 or 4 times in November. I have November 6th RCW out in Canyon City, Colorado. The next day, Phoenix, Arizona for Por Vida Lucha. If anybody's watching from that promotion, I apologize. I'm barely learning Spanish, little by little. Then after that, I have BCW out in Seminole, Texas. And then the 20th of November, I have SCP out in I believe it's Lubbock, Texas, if I'm not mistaken.
So what I heard there was Colorado one night and Arizona the next. The following week, you're in Texas, and then the following week after that, you're in Texas again.
Exactly. Yep.
So
Colorado.
You're out there, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, just like I said, trying to make it towards the West Coast now. Trying to get I love doing shows, but it's now time for me to go and expand myself. Trying to get out there to California, Florida, wherever I can get booked.
And plus, you're only going to get better the more you do it.
Exactly. That's pretty much it. It's just I'm gonna only get better if I get myself out there.
Marcus mentioned RCW. All right. So, brother, we wish you nothing but the best of luck in everywhere you go and everything you do, and we hope sincerely that everything you want out of professional wrestling you get. And if there's anything we could do to help, don't hesitate to get in touch with us, and also keep in touch with us along the way too.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I will definitely keep in touch with you guys. And, I look forward to doing this again.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just want to give a big shout out to my team off the ropes. Doopsy, Jason, Roland Steele, Enrique, Dante, Caden, whoever I'm missing, I apologize. But more importantly, I gotta say this from the bottom of my heart. I cannot thank Gino Rivera enough for giving me an opportunity, for giving me a chance to get into this business. And I can't, like I said, there are no words to describe. I can't thank him enough.
Thank you, Gino.
There you go.
Doing the marks there. All right, man. And Keith, you got anything else for him?
No, again, thank you for being here. We always appreciate it. Like I say, I love the fact that you've got the right attitude. You're trying to get yourself out there. You're not afraid to drive. You're not afraid to really give yourself some hellacious car rides there. I mean, from Texas to Colorado to Phoenix in 2 days. That is some hardcore commitment right there.
Exactly. So, just gotta put on a show. Gotta get to where we need to go and, get the name out there. So that's what I'm trying to do.
And never stop learning, brother. Never stop learning.
Never stop learning. Exactly.
There'll be guys behind the curtain there'll be guys that behind the curtain that have been doing this 10, 15 years. That'd be glad that if you ask questions. And some guys are afraid to approach those guys because you never met them before and they look like, but I mean, sometimes all it takes is, hey man, how you doing? And next thing you know, he's telling you about 15 things you should be doing. Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, never stop learning, brother, and go after it, go get it. And we wish you nothing but the best, my man. And I lost my train of thought, Keith. I just derailed right there. Don't worry, I get that all the time. I start talking and I'm like, wait, where was I going with this? So I get what you're saying. By the way, it's now 20-14 Dallas. By the way, they just got a field goal there for you. So, all right, sounds good to me. Cowboys are up. So we're gonna let you go, my man, to watch the end of that game, and so am I. By the way, I'm gonna watch the end of that game too because it looks like it's gonna be a good fourth quarter. They're just getting into the fourth quarter. We got one more comment though. I think. Good luck on your future. There it is, Big Chris. Thank you. Appreciate that, Chris, very much. He's from South Carolina, that guy. All right, so listen, man, best of luck, my man. Go get it. Go do it. Keep us posted. Keep us up to date. And if anything we could do, and if anybody want to send it away, and put it in Gino's ear, we're gunning for him. Absolutely. Yeah, I will definitely talk to him for you guys. But again, I'm calling your ass out. Gino told you so. Gino Rivera. I'm calling your ass out. Bring it to around the turnbuckle, my man. Before you go. I tell you what, he'll definitely bring it. I'll tell you that. Because if he gets famous, then I got to pay him $10,000 to come on the show. Yeah, I got it. But again, guys, I appreciate you having me on the show. I appreciate it so very much, man. I can't thank you guys enough. Absolutely. Yeah, thank you. And for all our fans watching right there, he has been Professor Keith on the Big Alboski. That is Kid Dallas. And we'll see you next time on Around the Turnbuckle.
Ladies and gentlemen, what you gonna do, brother? Oh, yeah! Woo! What? If you smell what the rock